You'll find in the quick starts for Snowflake this amazing tutorial. It's called Data Mapping in Snowflake Native Apps using Streamlit. Let's walk through this application because I uh, I improved it a bit just to make it more accessible and to be able to condense it in just a few minutes here. What the application does is it goes to IP location. That's an online service, and this is a paid service, but you have an IP location Lite, which is a free service. You have to create an account. That's a free account, nothing asked, whatever, just to log in. And here you can see the databases that you can download as CSV files. We look in particular at this specific CSV file. You can see here it's 300 megs. It will come into a zip file. It contains IPv4 addresses, okay, and for each range of IP address, it will contain country, region, city, latitude, longitude, zip code, and time zone. So this would be the enriched data. Whenever you get an IP address, you can call the service that will write right now to get additional information. Yes, to get all this additional information for a specific IP address. So I already downloaded this, and just because we cannot use it, that's a large file, and I didn't want to get it very complex. Uh, let's switch to switch to the Python project because I built everything here. It's not at all complex. You can see under data mappings. Um, and in the IP2 location small CSV, I just isolated 100 entries. As you can see, that's a CSV file. Here we have a range of IP addresses between this and between that. Okay, as I was saying, yeah, you get the other information here, but we'll walk through right away. The idea is let's go into the deploy SQL file. As usual, so just to deploy this as a native app, we'll create an application package. We'll call this IP2 location package. Okay. At the end, in this package, yes, we'll create an IP2 location application. But until then, definitely we'll create a private schema, and in this schema, we'll create a location CSV file format. We'll create a stage, yeah, a stage based on this format. As you can expect, yes, through this stage, we'll load all our files. And as usual, you'll have a manifest file, a script, a single page app.py Streamlit application, and our CSV file. Let's focus first on the CSV file because we'll load this in the stage, but then we'll create a table with all this information from the CSV table. You can see it here. IP from, IP2, so the range, country code, country name, region, and so on. Okay. What we'll do, yeah, just simply copy into from the stage data. So we have just the CSV file there into this table. And yeah, I can show the count. I can show the everything. Yeah, I can show top 10 entries just like this. But nothing fancy, nothing else. For the rest, yeah, I just provide the version one and release directive in the application package just to be able to deploy this and to share it with other Snowflake accounts in the future. If you look into the manifest file, manifest version 1, just pointing to the script SQL. No README file for now. You see, the README file is optional. You can skip it. But what's interesting here, look, you have in the references a table taus, yeah, we'll call it. This will be a table in the consumer account. Okay. Uh, and the consumer must give us privileges. Select insert update references. So this would be a table. Okay. And this would be the callback whenever they give us access. They will call back this function of ours where we have to sets the actual privileges. We'll have a look at this function, but that's one way to specify what database objects we need in the consumer account to be given privileges to. Okay, so let's continue with script SQL. So just remember, this is a application script. This is what we'll create in the application and will be deployed as well to the consumer. We'll start with the application role, as usual. Yeah, and the version schema up. I'll just keep the names consistent throughout here because yeah, you may get lost into between different schemas and so on. I'll simply create a secure view to just to get access, read-only access to our table. Yeah, but nothing fancy. Then a new df, IP too long. Uh, what's the idea? When an address is passed, I need to convert it to a long number because this is how they are represented here. You see in the ranges IP from and IP2 in the CSV file. Okay, so that's a JavaScript secure function. Yep, nothing fancy once again, but yeah, it looks good. Then I have an IP to data, a secure function. So this takes an IP address, yeah, once again given as a string, and converts it using the IP2 long function. Okay, so this will call you see the JavaScript function that we had before. So what this does, it looks at the enriched data in the CSV file, in the table loaded from the CSV file for a specific IP address. So given an IP address, yeah, in the usual form, yeah, as a string with dots inside, this will be converted to a long, yeah, with our previous JavaScript function, and we'll look into our table here. You see it, and yes, we'll collect all this information as JSON. You can see here this will simply create a JSON dictionary, a JSON object with a property value. That's all. Good. Look at the register single callback. That's a function. That's a s- Actually that's a procedure, and yeah, this would be good to have a secure procedure. Yeah, let's not give them access to look inside what we have. This could be a secure procedure uh, that you see. This will this will give us access to this function. Yeah, will establish access to this remote consumer table. No, okay, and yeah, we have another one at the end, and this is the actual functionality that we expose to the customer. Enrich IP data. We pass the name of the column in that remote table, the name of the column with the IP, and output field. Yeah, this will contain a variant with our enriched data. We'll see how we'll call it. And now this is it. Everything I just provided here, just in case. You see, I just provided a test table. You see, the remote consumer data could be something like this: IP data variant. This is enriched data. And yeah, I inserted here. You see just two values, two test values. I looked inside, and yeah, they are there. This would be for a city in China. This would be for a city in Thailand. So yeah, this should map to something and truly enrich our data. And for the rest, yeah, a Streamlit as usual is created. Let's see. Last file we have to look at. Yeah, it's our application, Streamlit application. As you can see, okay, we just collect a get active session from Snowpark. So this will be deployed in a Snowflake account, and we get current session from there. Uh, it's very basic, and definitely we'll look into the table types, the consumer table. Okay, that's the way we reference it because we have no idea what the actual name of this table will be at this stage. Yeah, at this stage, the reference, and this we return the reference. We return the actual table name. Okay, we'll get everything from there. We'll display the content. Then you have to select the map column, then the result column. By default, I choose I select the first two columns, but definitely you can map to something else. And then you'll have a button, update data, and this will call our store proc that we had before with two specific columns to enrich data. So this is it, guys. Let's just run it. Okay, I did this before, but we can run it again. There is no problem. So Snow SQL, everything is automated um, in my scripts here, unlike online. And I provide you already, a small sample of data because, yeah, otherwise, yeah, it will take a while to load. I don't know, 300 megas from a CSV file. Yeah, but as you can see, yeah, everything is smooth, and yeah, we create the application, and yeah, the script run, and the application has been created. Let's switch to our account right now. This is where, yeah, let's refresh it just in case, but you can see it already on top. We have IP2 application app. But let's do something else before. Let's just make sure, that we create, you see, we have this, let's see what's been created. So we have an IP2 location package, yeah, because we're the provider as well. But this will be created in the consumer as well, I2 location app. So we'll act both as a provider and a consumer in this scenario. Yep. Tables. Okay, I have this test data here. Uh, I cannot access it from the application to set it as my consumer table. So what I have to do is to create a new database, test database for IP2 location. Okay, I'll run this. You see, it's already created here because I did it before, but let's recreate it again. And then we'll create a table test data as CTAS. Actually, this should be here. So you see, create test data as select anything from, and we'll say IP location. That's a one up, and yeah, this would be test data. Let's see. Yeah, we have to start with this one. Good. And let's populate it with this test data that we found before. Okay, that's good. So now back to this. Yeah, let's refresh it just in case we'll have to see this new database table. View details. This is what you have to do, and you see here privileges to objects. Yeah, because we had this in the manifest file. We can say add, select data, and yes, you can see you go here, and this is my test table. Save. Okay, privileges successfully granted privilege. Okay, this is good. Now let's wait for this to finish. Yeah, that's good. Let's go to the application itself and just run it. Okay. Oh, as you can see here, yes, I had already the table populated. I did it twice. There is no problem. Here you can select the columns and just make sure the result column is an empty one because I didn't take any precaution here. Data would be overridden with our enriched data. And as you can see, so the IP data, the enriched data is none at this moment. But let's call update data. Okay, it's populated inside. If I double click, oh yeah, you can see that's Fuzhou in China, longitude, latitude, region, time zone, zip code. Yeah, that's good. For the other one as well, that's a city in Thailand in this case. You can see longitude, latitude. the rest. So this is good. And as you see, the basic service here provided was, you see, I can do this. I can call um, IP to location, let's say IP to location app, and it's called Enrich. If I look, if you look into the procedure here, Enrich IP data. Okay, that's the one. Enrich IP data, and here you pass the names of the two specific columns you have here. So you'll have IP and IP data. So this is a basic functionality that our nice-looking application, Streamlit application, provides. But you can do it this way, yes? The consumer. Once again, I act as a consumer. What's left to do, and I will leave this up for an exercise because I did it. We did it already several times. Is you can go to share. Yeah, you can share this data we selected accounts that you have partners or client accounts. You can go at listing, create listing, name, only specify the customers, or yeah, of course you can publish this on the marketplace if you're free to wait for approvals from Snowflake. But otherwise, only specific customers. You publish this as a listing. You switch to the other account, and you can do exactly what we did here from the testing perspective. You'll go to apps uh, in the consumer account, view details. You'll have to add your specific consumer table here. Start the application, and right before it's good to before doing this, definitely it's good to create this test data, or maybe you have your own data with an IP column there. So you see you can see all the scenarios, so it's very simple. We did it before. Going back to our script, some other thing to mention here, let me close this, is that in this case we were able to provide a relative path, for our files. No longer a need for variable substitution in SnowSQL. So if you run your script from this current directory, from data mapping app, where all these files reside, yes, or you, you see here the CSV file is in a subfolder, you can provide a relative file path this way. So these are once again local files, yeah, and you have to upload them into a remote stage. You can do it this way: file prefix slash slash dot. So it's important to provide that for the current directory. But once again, no need to save the absolute file and to eventually use things like variable substitution.